Welcome to the Basketball and Hockey Podcast. I am your host, Adam Hess, and with me, as always, he has been signed by the Vancouver Canucks for 3 years at $825,000 per year. It's Mike Regan. Mike, how you doing today?
That's a pretty good day for me.
It's a pretty good day for you. Pretty bad day for a lot of NHL players. Imagine them saying, hey, we're going to pay you $800,000 a year because we don't think you're that valuable.
I mean, I feel like I could come close to Elias Pettersson's point production.
You know how good of, like, a network security expert you have to be to make $800,000 a year?
Like a decent one.
Like, you might have to be the best network security expert on the planet to make that much money.
Well.
But, like, the worst player on your favorite team probably makes $825,000 a year.
Yeah. Oh, what's NHL vet minimum?
I don't know. What's the two-way contract paying these days?
Depends on whether a player is on a standard NHL contract. League minimum salary is $775,000.
Look at that. Imagine only making $775,000. Although that being said, you make $775,000 for 3 years and then you're out of hockey. Well, I guess you're playing in Sweden. So you really got to stretch every penny you get there.
Sweden.
But Mike, we don't have time to talk about this. Mainly because I have Puckpedia up, and it is going to destroy my computer if we don't get through these fucking trades we need to talk about.
All right, let's talk about it.
Mike, NHL Free Agency open today, but because we are not a daily podcast a la Steve Dangle. Does he do his thing daily? You know Steve Dangle? You Steve Danglite?
Not familiar.
He's like a YouTube guy who's like yells at the screen about the Maple Leafs or something. I don't know. I watched him like once. Not my cup of tea. You know what? Last time we called out Sean McAdoo, I'm calling out Steve Dangle. You suck. We're funnier. Anyways, Mike. We got to get through some of the trades that have been coming through.
Trades.
Just like we did in the last podcast, we're going to try to only stick to the important ones or the trades that we have thoughts on. First and foremost, fresh off the presses, the Edmonton Oilers have acquired Devon, Levi, and a 2028 7th-round pick for a 2028 3rd-round pick. Mike, how do you feel as a Sabres fan to lose the golden future of the franchise, Devon Levi?
I guess they decided he's probably not that. So I'll take a 3rd-round pick for him. That's fine.
What did you use when you drafted him is the question.
We didn't draft him. He was part of the Sam Reinhart trade.
That's right. Right.
But, I mean, we're still actively in Hellebuck talks, apparently.
Feels like they would have wanted Devon Levi back for Hellebuck. I guess they want UPL, right?
Yeah, it'd probably be UPL who's going back in a Hellebuck trade.
Well, cross your fingers that you can get a $10 million 33-year-old goalie instead of your entry-level deal or vet minimum, whatever he is, 21-year-old goalie who we've already given up on. Let me ask you this. Do you believe in his future more or less now that he's on Edmonton?
I mean, if he came up and was playing for Buffalo, he'd have a better defense in front of him, so that would have probably helped.
He'd have a better defense. Now, I will say that having a player like Connor McDavid keeps the pressure off you because the puck's always in the other zone. But also, Edmonton is where goalies go to die.
Yeah, that's true. I still have some faith for him. I mean, goalies are weird, so we'll see.
As the immortal Shoresy once said, goalies are weird.
Goalies are weird.
Mike, next up. Jonas Korpisalo. You got any Jonas Korpisalo trade thoughts?
Not really. He's a backup caliber goalie who sometimes ends up starting a lot of games on bad teams.
Yep. And the Bruins drafted a new goalie prospect, so makes sense, The goalie prospect who they drafted from fucking Russia or whatever, who isn't going to play in the NHL,
Russia?
Maybe ever, but at least not for 5 years. He's going to be the backup now. He's the backup.
Mm.
No more thoughts on that? Mike, next trade.
Sorry, I was distracted by a tidbit of news that came through.
We'll burn through these trades so we can talk about some free agency. How does that sound to you, Mike?
All right.
Or is the tidbit of news free agency news?
Restricted free agency news.
Okay, we'll get to that. We'll get to that when we get to it, all right? All right?
All right. Sorry. I'll try to lock in until then.
Mike, Maverick Bork and Ilya Lyubushkin moved to Nashville from Dallas for a 2027 second-round pick and a 2028 third-round pick via Vegas. Mike, you are notably the biggest Ilya Lyubushkin hater on the face of the planet. How do you feel about this trade for Nashville?
Wrong. I love me. So I got time of the day for Bushi. All about some Bushi. This felt
They do call you the Boosh bag.
Yeah, I'm a big time Boosh bag. Maverick Bork, on the other hand, I can't take seriously. So just because, even though like there's been great players with the last name Bork, whenever I hear Bork, I just think like Bork. Like, I don't know. I just can't. I don't know. This felt like Dallas just trying to like chip away at their cap space to try to bridge the gap in Jason Robertson negotiations.
Yeah, what I personally enjoy is they're going to pay Jason Robertson $15.5 million a year, and their blue line's going to somehow get worse, and they're going to come back being the same team they were last year, but with less players on their blue line.
Allegedly, Werenski nixed a Stars deal. If you believe the rumors.
It's funny. Jason Robertson won't let himself get traded from the Stars, and Zach Werenski won't let himself get traded to the Stars. That's because we all know
shit this offseason.
Listen, Werenski was on Team USA, Mike, which means that he wants to play in America, all right? He wants to play in America, not on these Canadian markets like Columbus or Dallas. He wants to move to America.
Well, funny enough, reports have said that his two. I'm like getting off track what we're talking about. Reports have said that like his two preferred destinations are either Tampa or Toronto. So
that's because, Mike, they have no income tax in Toronto, and that's what's ruining the league.
You don't have to pay any USA taxes in Toronto. Fun fact.
Mike, the big trade during our what would you call the period between our podcasts? We need like a term for this, like the gulf of NHL news, the depression of content. It's got to be
the calm before the storm, which wasn't really that calm because a lot of shit kept happening.
Yeah, but it's calm because no one cares about NHL news until we pod. We drive the cycle, Mike. We drive it.
Yeah.
Anyways, the Florida Panthers acquired Jacob Markstrom and Angus Crookshank from the New Jersey Devils for Evan Rodriguez, Jesper Boquist, and Ben Steeves.
That's not a real person.
Markstrom, somehow, older than Sergei Bobrovsky.
Yeah, Jacob Markstrom. Not good last year.
No, not good last year. Okay, the year before. Really good Vezina guy the year before that. But when you're a 36-year-old goalie, it rarely goes backwards from there.
Right. I feel like the year before he was okay, and some people were thinking like, oh, if he had like better play in front of him, especially defensively, he probably would have been really good. But then he regressed even more this year. But I mean, that's Florida basically taken. Like, I think they had no intention of ever talking to Bobrovsky about a return. So
I really enjoy Florida being like, we got to get younger in net. Let's trade for Markstrom.
Oh, it's Markstrom. He can't be older than what, 30, 33 or something? Let me see.
Markstrom's 36.
Jacob Markstrom is 30. Oh, he was born January 31st. He is 36. Can confirm.
What's the best piece in your opinion, or what would Florida regret giving up in this trade? Evan Rodriguez or Jesper Boquist? Who's more impactful to a potential title in 2027 for them?
I like Evan Rodriguez and his two-way play having him on my bottom six. I'd probably say Evan Rodriguez.
And they're both expiring deals, and they're both bottom six players.
Yeah.
Like New Jersey did this as a cap dump, which makes sense because Markstrom is bad and is sucking up a lot of cap. But like, I don't know, man. Seems like a pretty good move for Florida here, and we'll get to their next move here in a second too. But I think they've proven that they just need a goalie to get hot for 4 rounds of the playoffs, and that's all that matters.
Yeah, I mean I think that was Evan Rodriguez. I mean, I imagine that Devils wanted him, but also the big part of him probably being one of the players that they were willing to send to New Jersey is because he has like a little over a $3 million cap hit, and they had to try to clear some more space to fit I almost said Yarkstrom. J. Markström's $6 million cap hit.
Well, Mike, that wasn't the only goalie they added because they also traded a 2028 third-round pick for Akira Schmid. Cup-winning Akira Schmid. You doing anime stuff over there?
The movie Akira, you would get it.
Yeah, you doing anime movie stuff over there?
Yeah.
Mike, who starts more games for the Florida Panthers in the year of our Lord 2026? Akira Schmid or Jacob Markstrom?
So if it's not Jacob Markstrom, then shit went sideways.
Right, but like we saw Schmid get hot enough to win a cup. Goalies are weird. Why couldn't he's 26 years old, man, and he won a cup.
Schmid? What do you mean? Schmid wasn't starting when they won that cup.
Who was starting?
Aiden Hill.
Oh fuck! I always do this. I always get these two. I always get those two guys mixed up.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. So
he still won a cup. He's a cup-winning goalie. Fuck you. He's got a ring.
all right.
How many rings do all the goalies on Buffalo have? If you're gonna talk shit.
Ignoring that question because it was rude. It's actually interesting because now they trade for Markstrom. They trade for Schmid. Now they have two former Devils goaltenders. Was this by design?
They're trying to lure Luke Hughes over by getting players he recognizes. I like that the in my headcanon, the story of the offseason is who can get Luke Hughes by luring him away. Minnesota's got Quinn Hughes. He might want to go play with his brother. The Devils want to keep him by keeping Jack Hughes in the building. Mike, do you let me just like lightning around you a few trades here, and you give me if you have any thoughts on them. Do you care at all about David Gustafsson to the Pittsburgh Penguins?
No.
Do you care at all at Radko Gudas for AJ Greer?
I think that's a good addition for Florida. I mean, Gudas even though Gudas is so old, I mean, he still has value on the defensive end, and they got creative in managing to get a deal done before the market opened. 6 years, 1.5 AAV. He's obviously not going to be an active player all 6 of those years at this point.
I personally just like that Florida is rolling 4 lines deep on players to just beat up Austin Matthews.
Yeah, pretty much. So,
do you care about the Brendan Gallagher salary dump?
Really? To be honest with you?
Yeah.
Sorry.
They broke up your beloved old men in Montreal, so.
Yeah.
I'm not even gonna mention the Mammoth one. Niels Hoglander for a third.
Great last name.
You said great last name, and I said Niels.
First name.
Is there anything else we need to talk about? No, we're just on to draft trades. Any other trades come through while we were rattling those off, Mike?
No. We did get a couple new free agent signings, but that's what we're going to get into now.
Let's talk about this. So we want to go through the free agent signings. Do you want to do the way that we just did, where we're going to go in reverse chronological order? Do you want to go alphabetical by team? Do you want to do a draft where we each draft a player we'll talk about?
Not all teams have made a signing, so I'd probably just go in chronological.
Reverse chronological, or you want to go chronological?
That's up to you, man.
No, Mike, this is the production meeting. You got to pick.
I guess just go from most recent to. I mean, they've all been happening in the last 2.5 hours. Does it matter?
Right, but they any of them since the last podcast. For instance, Zach Benson got signed after our last podcast.
Yeah, his extension, which once again, smart extension, doing it.
Why don't we start there?
A year or so later, you're paying a lot more money.
That's basically the last or the first thing of note that we missed from the last podcast, unless you have any Bobby McMahon thoughts.
Oh, we didn't talk about the Pavel Dorofeyev deal or the Mason McTavish deal.
Oh, yeah. Well, we talked about the Mason McTavish deal.
We talked about it potentially happening because hadn't happened yet.
That's right. Okay, yeah. So do you have the numbers in front of you for Mason McTavish? I'll pull up Pavel Dorofeyev. I take it by your not speaking that you, in fact, do not have.
Traded by the Ducks to the Blues for 2 first-round picks. They received number 15 in last week's draft, which they used to select forward Nikita Kaplov. as well as the number 29 pick.
Who won this trade? Straight up. Just Mason McTavish for 2 firsts. Who won?
I really like McTavish, so I want to say St. Louis. But also,
McTavish had a down year, but he kind of got pushed. He kind of got pushed out of center. He does not play the kind of hockey that they're obviously moving towards in Anaheim. You know, because he's a beta cup soy boy, like the rest of us from that generation.
Yeah, Anaheim ended up trading the second of those picks, number 29, and a 4th, to jump up one more spot to 28 and took a Marcus Nordmark, who everybody knows what that guy loves him. Yeah. But this is one of those trades that's going to be like, come back to me in like 3 years. I'll tell you who won it. If like one or both of those guys are like legit NHL starters, I'll be like, oh, Anaheim won the trade.
I think Anaheim's going to end up winning the trade.
Possible.
Is that crazy?
If you just think about it this way, in order for the Blues to win the trade, Mason McTavish has to work out. The Ducks have 2 players, and as long as one of them works out, everything's good.
Yeah, McTavish definitely had a down year last year too, which might not be indicative, but he was supposed to be like the guy of the future there, and has been surpassed a few times over at this point.
They have a thing for their guys of their future taking a step back and then them trading him out of town.
Yeah.
You got Zegras.
I know. I think last podcast I was saying that I hope they trade him to Philly.
Philly
what
does
if
love. They do have.
What if Zegras signs with Anaheim?
That would be interesting. Let's see what. Let me pull it up because I think I had it. My computer. I do. So the this year's compensation scale for RFAs. Let's say Zegras makes in the 7.1 to 9.5 range. That would require Anaheim giving up a first, second, and third pick.
So he's probably not.
That's probably not happening.
Yeah. Mike, the other big trade, the big capital T trade. The New York Rangers acquired Pavel Dorofeyev for number 26, number 92, a 2028 first, which is top 10 protected. So Dorofeyev for 3 first-round picks. Well, sorry, 2 first-round picks and 92, which was a third.
And then he proceeded to then sign a 7-year, $77 million contract.
Yeah, 7 by 11, which is this is the point where I was like, cap's going up. Like, we're just going to see all like the guys that are top 6 forwards with one elite skill sign for $11 million.
Yeah, he scored 37 goals in the regular season, got super hot in the playoffs. I think a big part of this trade.
Can you point me to the fucking Jack Eichel on the New York Rangers, please?
I know. That's a fair point. But part of this did feel like, I feel like it was Chris Drury being like trying to get Rangers fans to leave him alone and stop egging his house. Because anytime Drury even just breathed or sneezed, Rangers fans were on Twitter like, I hope you die. So.
Do you think? Let me ask you this: does this trade happen if the Knicks don't win the NBA Finals?
You think Dolan was like, all right, got the Knicks championship, time to move to the ice?
Yeah. I kind of think maybe that happened. I think maybe Dolan was so locked in on the Knicks for the last 3 months, because JD and the Straight Shots is not currently touring, as we all know, that the second that the Knicks parade was over, Dolan was like, all right, what else do I have to play with? Hey, Chris! Why aren't we scoring goals anymore?
Based on my experience as a Knicks fan, is when Dolan really locks in on the team, you're going to have about 8 years of suffering. And then he's eventually going to hire some front office people to be the adults in the building, and he's just going to shut up. And then they'll build a winner. So we'll see what happens.
What you're saying is, if you're a Rangers fan, you really have to hope that Dolan builds a second sphere.
Yeah.
You got to get him locked in on something else for a while.
Speaking of JD and the straight shooters.
Straight shots?
Straight shots. The one game at MSG, Jimmy Fallon was there. And I can't believe Dolan didn't come down and talk to him to try to get JD in the straight shots on the Tonight Show.
Okay, how do you know he didn't? He almost definitely did, right? Like Dolan Fallon called up and said, "Hey, I want to get courtside tickets," and the operator, whoever it is, like their liaison to celebrity, said, "Hold, please," and held. And then James Dolan's voice came on the other end and went, "Hey, Jimmy, who do you have booked on Wednesday?" And the problem is, neither of us watches Jimmy Fallon, so for all we know, JD in the Straight Shots has played the last 3 shows.
We'd have no idea.
I honestly think that Dorofeyev for $11 million has sticker shock to it and is going to look totally fine in a couple years.
I think
That's
so.
just like that's what it's going to be for a top 6'4" with an elite skill.
Well, I mean, if you want to hit it one more time, Cap's going up. And once again, we are talking about a 37 goal scorer.
Who is 25 years old.
Yeah.
And nearly led the playoffs in scoring outside of Brett Howden, which if I was the New York Rangers, I would be about 2/3 of the way through the talks about Pavel Dorofeyev and go, wait a second, why did Brett Howden lead the playoffs in goals? Should we be asking more questions about the system and who these guys are playing with?
That the fact that it wasn't like, I agree. Like the 2 dudes who led the playoff in goals, one was on a line with Eichel, the other was on a line with Marner. And at no point did someone in the Rangers front office like look at like the depth chart and go,
All right, Mike, ready to get to these signings then?
let's do it.
All right, Zach Benson, 7 years, 7.5 per year, 52 million total. That is 7.2% of the cap. He was an RFA. Good deal, bad deal.
He would have been an RFA next year. So we went ahead.
Shut the fuck up. Yeah, you
went ahead and
close
got
your
done,
little slut mouth.
A year early, which is the way any like good GM would do it for one of your
Then
good
why did
players.
Jarmo Kekalainen do it?
Because 1, there's a chance you can get him at a cheaper price point, and 2, it will be less of a headache having to deal with being a little more pushed with your back up against the wall and timeline crunch to get it done. If someone wants to call this the Stars and tell them how it works, because Robertson had a down year last year, and if they would have took care of this shit last year, they could have saved money and saved themselves a big headache. But they didn't. Anyway, we got Benson on a good deal. We've done the same thing in the past. I mean, different people in the front office, but like we saw a similar thing with Dahlin and Thompson, is you kind of jump on that contract extension early.
If I may say 2 things. First off, pronouns, pal. Second, where does Zach Benson slot in?
Like on the depth chart next season?
Yeah.
I mean, I think he's playing. I think he's playing top line, top 6 for sure.
Okay, so he's not going to be playing center.
Well, no, he's a winger, isn't he?
He's listed as a center.
He's like a center, but he played all year at the wing. He never played center all year. So,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. Just 7.5 for a winger. He's got to be top 6 at that point.
He's gonna be. Top
Although
and we
Cap's
saw
going up,
that.
so maybe middle 6, like a third pair left wing. 7.5 million.
Yeah.
Let's scroll up here. See what we want to talk about. Ian Moore to Anaheim, 24 years old, 2 years, 1.15. Any thoughts on Ian Moore?
Just that if he scores a goal, the local broadcast guy can go, "Give me more, give me more."
Yeah, I was
Ian
gonna say,
Moore with the goal.
Should that be his goal song? Give me more, give me more. Mike, favorite of NXT, Tony D'Angelo signs with the New York Islanders for $4.5 million for 2 years, total of $9 million.
Tony D returns to New York. Makes his big return to NYC, playing for the lesser of the 2 teams.
Is it the lesser anymore? Is it?
Yeah, well, I mean, that's true. I really have nothing to that. D'Angelo just keeps signing. How many years was on his contract? Because I feel like
2 years.
2 years, yeah. That's basically been his entire career ever since he stole that puck from Keandre Miller.
Yeah.
And then said some poor things. He's basically just bounced around with 1 year and 2 year deals constantly.
So he's probably gonna be bottom pair for them with Alexander Romanov.
Yeah, probably third pair, maybe, depending how the year goes. I could see him, like, injuries and whatnot, bumping up to 2, but he's definitely not a first pair defenseman.
Yeah. Never was. Mike, Jordan Spence, Ottawa Senators give him $5 million for 4 years for a total of $20 million. Keep moving. Got it.
Yeah,
Brett Kulak.
We don't have that one.
Brett Kulak, 4.5 over 5 years for $22.5 million. You got any Brett Kulak thoughts?
Not really. Just basically that. I guess my thoughts are just that that the Avs have been very active this offseason, and this is part of it.
Well, they actually signed a pair of defensemen around the same time because they also brought back Brent Burns on a 1-year, $850,000 contract.
Love it.
So there you go. They got the 2 of their bottom 2 pairs locked up there, Mike. Brett Kulak, Brent Burns. How many cups will the Colorado Avalanche win next year? I'll set the over-under at 1.5.
Under. I will say, Brent Burns, 41 years old. I don't even care. If I had a chance to get me a year of Brent Burns, I'm taking it.
I like Brent Burns, but, I know he wants a cup. You should have stuck it out with Carolina there, bud.
It was like 1 year. Left 1 year too early.
Did we talk about the Jack Drury extension they signed him to? After Nashville traded to him?
I know the cap's going up, but I thought that was a little bit of an overpay for Jack Drury. But Chris,
$22 million over 5 years, 4.5 total as an RFA. Yeah, probably a lot for a bottom 6 center who is almost entirely a defensive only center.
Yeah, and honestly, in a perfect world, if your team is in the playoffs, if you have a playoff caliber roster, he's your 4th line center.
Yeah. And as we know with Nashville, they do. Mike, next up, a guy that you have a lot of insight into, Michael Kesselring. $13.5 million over 3 years, $4.5 million per year, which is just the standard of there, as everyone's getting 4.5. Is Kesselring going to be worth this? He would have been worth this on Utah, would not have been worth this on Buffalo, I think.
Yeah, just because, like I said last week, he was just kind of the odd man out. He wasn't going to see the ice time, so... I think this is a good move by San Jose. And they also didn't tie themselves down, 3 years. All right. If it doesn't work out, no problem.
And San Jose's big problem was just defensive depth. So just throw shit at the wall and see what sticks. Bring in as many possible defensemen as you can. I don't know who the fuck Beck Malenstyn is, but you got any thoughts on him signing for 6 years with the team? Yeah.
I love me some Beck Malenstyn.
Right,
he's just your bottom 6 gritty forward. You gotta love him.
So he's your Jack Drury.
No, how dare you? Beck Malenstyn's more fun to watch. Jack Drury's a boring-ass hockey player. Malenstyn's fun.
Oh, scrolling. I'm basically just skipping over anything that's 1 year, $850 million outside of Brent Burns. So feel free to stop me if there's anything you want to talk about in particular. A lot of people get signed that I don't have a ton of thoughts on. Bobby Brink. 1 year, $2.75 million. Comes back to Minnesota.
One of the trades they made at the deadline that really did nothing to help them. Lock it down.
Speaking of trades, Mike, AJ Greer, after being traded, signs a $17 million extension for 4 years. That is $4.25 annually, 4.1% of the cap. A Greer steer. You like yourself some AJ Greer? Anaheim Ducks kind of needed some wingers.
Yeah, I like it. AJ Greer is a bottom 6 winger. It's not bad.
Yeah. A lot of people in this class that are. I like that as a bottom 6 winger.
So things have been real quick. The things have been moving at a pretty good pace with guys getting signed, and I did kind of expect a slightly frenetic pace because this UFA class isn't great. So I feel like in this situation, teams are probably going to try to slide in and grab the guys that are solid to that guy's good as fast as possible, because after you get past them, it's just not very good.
How dare you insult Patrick Laine like that?
Anthony Mantha's still out there, isn't he?
Mike, Jeremy Lauzon re-signs with the Golden Knights after having a few fuck-ups in the playoffs. He still gets $24 million over 6 years. That is $4 million, per year. Mike, any Jeremy Lauzon thoughts?
Not really, but did you see they got the Rasmus Anderson deal done too?
I did not. What's the Rasmus Anderson deal?
7 years, $59.5 million.
It's a lot of Rasmus.
Yeah, it comes out to a cap hit of $8.5 million a year.
Yeah, I mean, that's gonna look good in a few years because the cap's going up, but
yeah, I mean everything leading up to the overlap, all the word on the street over the past couple weeks is that Vegas was going to get this deal done at some point, and shortly into the free agency period, they finally did. I don't think they got what they hoped out of Anderson last year, but
no,
still,
did.
if you lose him, you are losing probably your third best defenseman. So I get locking him up.
Yeah, they got some problems on the blue line, definitely, because Rasmus Anderson probably is their third best, although I think that there's teams where Rasmus Anderson would be the best defenseman. Not good teams, but there are teams. Anderson was really poor in the playoffs is part of the problem.
Yeah.
Exceptionally bad in the playoffs.
I mean, maybe with this deal done now, they can actually find a competent goalie.
They just traded for a competent goalie, didn't they?
Didn't we talk about a goal?
Didn't they trade for someone? My lying? Am I making shit up? I could be lying. Who signed Stuart Skinner? Someone signed Stuart Skinner. I saw that.
Oh, Winnipeg did.
Winnipeg signed Stuart Skinner.
Oh, they signed Carl Lindbaum. You got any Carl Lindbaum thoughts? Carl Lindbaum, 3-year, $2.7 million. So a league minimum deal. I don't think they really have high hopes for that. But yeah, it was the.
Well, they still have Marc-Andre Fleury and Logan Thompson though, right?
They do not. They have Aiden Hill and Kata Hat.
Do they still have Kata Hat? They got Kata Hat through next year?
Yeah, I think they have Kata Hat through next year. I
just kind of figured when Torts left, he left with Carter Hart. They left together. They drove in together and they left together.
It's like a divorce. Oh, I'm taking Carter Hart with me.
Who does Bruce Cassidy get in the divorce then?
Nothing.
The Cup. Mike, the Ottawa Senators signed Nick Cousins to a 2-year, $1.587 million. Is this just so they have someone who can fight Brady Tkachuk when they play for the first time?
I mean, it's because they got to have, cousins and cousins attorney at law. They got to have all the cousins on their team. That's why.
Did we ever talk about the Bowen Byram deal on this pod?
We did not. We texted
Bowen
about
Byram. $75 million over 6 years, $12.5 per year. Now, once again, like the Pavel Dorofeyev, there is sticker shock on this one, where you look at that and go, $12.5 million for Bowen Byram?
No.
Oh my God.
No.
I think when I texted you, I think this is a deal that is going to look like an upper mid-market deal very soon. Maybe by the start of next season, it'll be like, well, all good defensemen are getting paid $14 to $17 million, so $12.5 for your 1D isn't bad. That being said, if you're saying Bowen Byram is our 1D and we're paying him like it, it's not a great look for your blue line. Not great for you. I like Bowen Byram. I know that when you're shorting a player, the job is to come on here and be like, well, he sucks shit. But Bowen Byram is a very good player. He's just never going to be he's not going to be a Norris guy ever, right? It's going to be he'll have a season in 3 years where he has 2 Norris votes. And we're like, wow, Bowen Byram really exploded onto the scene this year at 28 years old.
Yeah, I don't think, even with the salary creep we've seen over recent years, I still think this is an overpay for Bowen Byram. And I compared it to what what Stan Bowman did with Seth Jones. At the time, that was years ago, so it was $8 million, which now $8 million for Byram would probably seem more accurate, in my opinion, to what he's worth. But we looked at that deal and we were like, listen, Seth Jones, he's good, plays a shitload of minutes, but it's just an overpay. And that's the same thing it's going to be the same thing with Bowen Byram. And he got what he wanted. I will never, congratulations to him. He's going to be on the top line. He got the bag. I do like Bowen Byram, but $12.5 million, that is just crazy.
I'm just personally, as a fan of hockey, a citizen of Chicago, I'm just glad that Erik Karlsson finally reset the market. After all these years, we finally got to the point where Erik Karlsson
Well, see,
reset the
that's gonna be
market.
the interesting thing, is because we see these deals like Christian Kirk in the NFL like reset the wide receiver market, and then all of a sudden wide receivers that were actually like really good wide receivers, he launched their salaries up because of what he got from Jacksonville. But there's also the world where NFL GMs all come together and they're like, hey, no, Chicago's dumb. All right, we can't give Cale Makar $16 million. It's just not feasible. And they push back against this happening.
So that's basically what I was saying. This is the first defenseman deal on an AAV scale to pass Erik Karlsson since Erik Karlsson signed that deal 7 years ago. Yeah. Like, literally the first person. Like, the Erik Karlsson deal was supposed to reset the market. It did not for 7 years. 7 years without someone passing him in AAV. Second, the question is Bowen Byram Christian Kirk, or is he Deshaun Watson? In terms of contract. In terms of contract. Not in terms of anything else. Not in terms of off-the-field issues or quality of play. Just in terms of contract. Is he now going to force people's wages artificially up because they have leverage? Or is everyone going to be like, fuck, Cleveland's dumb?
Chicago.
Well, I was talking about Deshaun Watson.
Oh, right, yeah. I mean, in a way, it could be a similar thing to Karlsson, where it doesn't reset the market as much as we think. Like, I still think like Makar and Quinn Hughes are going to come in above 12.5. I don't know if it's going to be like 15, 16 million. But that would kind of be like, that would kind of make, because like Bowen Byram basically is like take prime Karlsson and like go by the Temu version that is Bowen Byram.
And that's like an important distinction here, because when Karlsson signed that deal, he was a premier defenseman in the NHL. He was a Norris winner at that point.
He was your premier like fourth winger on the ice. I wouldn't really call him a defenseman.
I thought you had gotten over your Erik Karlsson hate. He scored 100 points in a season, Mike.
Yeah, like I said, he is your premier fourth forward.
Bowen Byram is he's not Erik Karlsson. He's not Cale Makar. He's not Quinn Hughes. And that's where the problem comes in. Because other players couldn't leverage against Erik Karlsson. Because despite what you think of Erik Karlsson, GMs could just point. They could just pull up Hockey Reference and go, look at how many points he scored. Did you score that many points? No, we're not paying you more than that.
Yeah.
You can't do that with Bowen Byram. You can't pull up Bowen Byram on Hockey Reference and go, did you score more points than him? Oh, fuck, you did? Wait, does that mean we have to pay you more? So that's why I'm worried that this is actually going to be a cap resetting move instead of just let's all dunk on this. And I'm not worried because I like when players get paid. I'm worried because it was really fun to talk about the Erik Karlsson contract for the last 7 years.
Yeah, I do wonder when those GMs pulled up Hockey Reference and were like, see that many points? If the other GM chimed in and was like, I got a better plus minus than that, though.
Mike, if you were Kyle Davidson, GM, Chicago Blackhawks, every day you're driving up to work at the United Center. You have to duck bullets and ICE agents undercover. Yeah, Italian beef. You're swimming through a deep dish pizza to get into the arena. Mm-hmm. How much would you have paid Bowen Byram after trading 2 first-round picks and Louis Crevier for him?
They just traded the one first-round pick.
Whatever, Mike.
Yeah, they traded the fourth overall.
You must be so much fun at parties.
Sorry. Sorry for being accurate. Anyway, like I said, I think Byram in today's market is more like a $7.5, $8 million defenseman, not a $12.5 million defenseman.
In today's market, I think 10.
10, I guess, if you want to get on like the super high end. But the funny thing is, before the trade and this extension, I think if we sat down and talked, I would come out like the one who's higher on Bowen Byram. But now you're over here saying he's worth more than I think. It's kind of funny. But part of this was probably Kyle Davidson being like, shit, we gave up like the 4th overall pick for him. We really need to, we really got to make a statement that we believe he is a upper echelon elite defenseman. It's
Huberdeau syndrome.
Yeah.
Like, once you give up something for a guy, of course you're going to sign him. Mm. I also enjoy that Kyle Davidson's out there being like, I just want everyone to know we have signed Bowen Byram. And Connor Bedard's just like looking on his left and his right, and he's like, the best winger on our team is either Tyler Bertuzzi or Anton Frundell. Can I have someone to pass the puck to?
Dude, I'm definitely offer sheeting. If I'm another team, I'm offer sheeting Bedard something stupid just because Kyle Davidson will match it.
Oh yeah, you could for instance you could offer sheet him $12.5 million per year, and
yeah, no, like I'd offer sheet him like 18 million, and Kyle Davidson would be like, oh, he's the franchise. I gotta match that.
In a few years, the Blackhawks salary cap is just going to be Bowen Byram and Connor Bedard.
Yeah.
And a bunch of vet minimum guys. Mike, a guy who got paid less than Bowen Byram, Nico Hischier, staying with the New Jersey Devils, $11.7 per year for 5 years for a grand total of $58.5 million.
The captain.
He sure is.
He's the captain. That's a solid deal for Hischier. I don't hate that.
Yeah. So, and Hischier's going to be playing goal for them?
No.
Huh.
No. But
so do they have a goalie?
No.
Is
No.
Is there someone on this team who's going to be playing goal? I think you got to sign Hischier to this deal.
Yeah.
But he's what does Jack Hughes make?
That's a great question, Adam. I will gladly give you the answer in 3.
Also, are they still going to trade
2.
Dougie Hamilton? Is that happening? Has anyone checked?
Dougie, by the way. Hughes is making $8 million.
Damn, that's a great deal.
Yeah.
Yeah. So their center spine: Hischier, Hughes, Cody Glass, Nick Bukestad.
First 2 are really good.
Yeah. Timo Meier, Dawson Mercer, Jesper Bratt, Connor Brown, Evan Rodriguez, and Jesper Boquist are probably the guys that you've routinely heard of on their wings. Defensemen, Jonas Siegenthaler, Dougie Hamilton, Luke Hughes, Brett Pesce, and then their bottom 2, which who cares? How many games does this team win next year?
I was about to say, can I be honest with you? I don't know what the Devils are doing. Like, I get being like, hey, let's get out from this Markström contract. I get that. $6 million out the door. Nice. You take in like Evan Rodriguez on that. That's like a good bottom 6 forward, kind of like fill out your depth. Great. They traded away Simon Nemec. Unless I missed it, they haven't done anything to fill that hole.
Nope.
And I don't know what their plan is. Like, I get, like, you have to, like, they obviously, with some of the guys they have, they know, like, no, we need to keep trying to like compete. But also, like, outside of re-signing Hischier, they've just sent guys out and haven't brought anything in to make me think that they're bettering this team. Like, I don't know what their plan is.
Yeah, they're the most 91-point team in the East.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's also part of the problem is that they, year after year, Jack Hughes and Luke Hughes and Timo Meier just cannot stay healthy.
Old man Meier.
Just like the amount of time that Jack Hughes spends sitting on a warm-up table, getting his hamstrings worked out or his teeth replaced or whatever. What?
My apologies to old man Meier. He's still like 100 days out of turning 30. I'm older than old man Meier, so I like to apologize.
Yeah, I just
wait.
What?
No, I got it though. They traded out Simon. They're going to keep trading out defensemen, so Luke Hughes has to play 55 minutes a game, and then they think maybe that will get him into Norris consideration. That's the plan.
Can he take face-offs? If he can start taking face-offs, I think we got something here.
Yeah.
Why is there no team in the NHL that has a defenseman take face-offs?
Because that's not really usually in a defenseman's bag.
Right, but it's not a defenseman's bag because teams don't have defensemen take face-off because defensemen don't take face-offs. Yeah. Like, defensemen got those long-ass arms, too. They're big motherfuckers.
Right, but I just feel like you get to the point where it's like I should have 4 centers that are better than a defenseman at picking face-offs. If not, I'm not good at my
but
job.
the only reason that you say that is because in our head centers take faceoffs, right? This is
If I'm scouting,
this is the thinking. This is the thinking that led to people passing on Jokic. They said we don't need a center who's good at passing the ball. Our point guard passes the ball.
no, because if I'm scouting players and they're like, this defenseman really good at taking faceoffs, I would say, okay, what does that have to do with the price of tea in China? Like, why do I care about my defenseman taking faceoffs?
Because what if the defenseman's good at taking faceoffs? What if he's better than centers at taking faceoffs?
That would be like saying, like, this left tackle, he's got great hands. It's like, okay, cool, we can run one trick play every 7
Guess
games.
what? Guess what? When they started doing that accounting, suddenly the fucking Detroit Lions were the best offense in football.
Okay. I think we're just on opposite ends of this topic, Adam.
Yeah, because I'm on the smart end and you're on the dumb end.
Okay, fair enough.
Mike, Ivan Demidov, nearly Rookie of the Year if it hadn't been for Matty Shafes.
Big money.
$73 million contract, 8 years, $9.15 million by the Montreal Canadiens.
Yeah.
Good deal. No complaints. We don't know if Ivan Demidov is going to be the offensive engine he seemed to be last year, but if he is, you just locked him in at way under his value for the next 8 years.
Yeah. He's got a cool name.
Simple as that.
Demidov.
Simple as that. Simple as that. Simple as that. And are they the team trading for Nemec? Who traded for Nemec? You remember?
Calgary.
Oh, yeah. Never mind then.
They're like the insider scoops is within that front office is that they're trying to like speed up this process and just kind of do like speed up this rebuild, start making their moves now to get back to being competitive. Which part of me can understand if you're if you're Calgary, you looked at the West last year, and like that wild card picture and like what the Pacific was, you're like, oh shit, we could have been in the playoffs.
Oh, you're talking about Nemec. I was still thinking about Ivan Demidov.
Yeah.
Is Kirby Doc ever going to play hockey?
Blast from the past, that Kirby Doc.
25 years old, Kirby Doc.
I know, he's obviously because of how young NHL players enter the league.
Yeah.
It's been a minute.
The Montreal needs some help on their center spine, but outside of that, they're getting near there, and signing Ivan Demidov is just a good piece of business for them.
Yeah.
Mike, Dan Vladar, 5 years, $5.5 million, total of $27.5 million to stay in Philadelphia. With he's backed up by Joseph Wool now, so there you go.
Yeah. The Iron Wool.
The Iron Wool. It seems like that's about all the thoughts we have on Dan Vladar. Good goalie,
we'll
not a
see how
great
that
goalie.
goes.
Never gonna be a Vezina guy.
What
Unless he wins the Vezina next year because it's goaltending and that fucking happens.
What was the AAV on that?
5.5.
That's like, I think it's like 750 or so, roughly $1 million over like the UPL deal. And like, so I kind of get that because the Sabres were like, UPL could maybe be like our starting goaltender going forward, but maybe not.
Yeah, for
So it feels like that kind of deal.
the place that Vladar is for Philly right now, a playoff team, mind you.
Yeah.
I think that is a good bit of business by them, and way for Vladar, who we thought was gonna be a career backup, to snag a bit of the bag.
Yeah.
I don't care about Eric Halla. You care about Eric Halla?
Not in 2026.
Okay, Maki Samoskevich,
Nope. No thoughts on that one.
Samuel Urson,
I'm pretty sure it's Erson, but no.
Jaden Schwartz. What?
got a new trade.
What's the new trade?
Or not a new trade. I think it happened like a little bit, like a few minutes ago while you were talking. But Oliver Bjorkstrand signed 1 year, $4.5 million by the New York Rangers.
Yeah. So Rangers really getting that Dolan pressure on them, aren't they?
Yeah. Outside of like maybe a couple names, most of this UFA class at forward and really defenseman, once you took Rasmus Anderson off the board, like isn't first line or first pair. And like
Yeah.
from a forward standpoint, most of them really aren't top six unless like a bad team.
Which are the Rangers a bad team?
Dude, I don't know. Rangers are weird, man.
If you're the Rangers, do you go all in on 96 points, or do you start thinking about flipping Shesterkin and Fox? If those are your only two options.
because they are in the city of New York, they play at MSG, and James Dolan is their owner. There's always going all in for
But you
the
see
max
this,
amount of points possible.
you see this article on The Athletic by Dom Luszczyszyn about how basically no team has ever won a Stanley Cup without tanking at some point outside of Vegas.
Yeah, but even the Vegas one isn't fair because they've been in the league, 6 years?
Yeah, and they, they acquired all those players in a very good way at the start. But, like, no team in the Cap era has won a Stanley Cup without tanking for some stretch of time. And the math kind of checks out on that. So if you are New York, instead of signing or trading for and signing Pavel Dorofeyev to shitloads of money, wouldn't it just make more sense to flip Zibanejad, Lafreniere, Trocheck, JT Miller, Adam Fox, and Igor Shesterkin and say, into the tank with us?
Well, like on the Trocheck front, it sounds like New York is still completely open to conversations, but just like the demand for him has like completely died down. One of like the prominent insiders had said that there's teams who have put their interest in Trocheck on hold because they're waiting. They're also interested in Larkin. They want to see what happens there first, kind of like a domino situation. But yeah, I mean, I think Trocheck, the Rangers, from everything I've heard, it sounds like they'd be totally willing to make a deal there. But it just sounds like the demand for him has kind of died down. So, I mean, they could have waited too long. I mean, they could be looking back at this and what may have been offered at the deadline, and they're going, heck.
Trocheck seems like the most Colorado Avalanche player available.
I mean, that was great. I mean, 5.6. I'm sure they could try to make that room up, fit him in there, and he would be. I mean, he'd probably be like their. Yeah, I mean, he'd probably be like their third C, their 3C. But I mean, he's the 3C on the Rangers right now. Behind it, I totally like needed a reboot for a second. Behind Zibanejad and Miller, so wouldn't really change anything. That'd be a great get for the Avs, but I don't think they're in the market to do that.
Well, speaking of being in the market to do something, the Los Angeles Kings were in the market to come second place in the race for the Stanley Cup this year by signing Corey Perry to a 1-year, $1 million deal.
Quentin Byfield, keep your mom away from the arena.
I will say, the Corey Perry thing is kind of worn off. I also think that, so they're reportedly, them and Drew Doughty look like they're kind of agreeing to part mutual ways, either at the end of the contract or via trade.
Yeah.
It seems like the Kings did right by their long-term guys, their cup-winning guys, and now it's time for a reset, and I think that they know that too.
Yeah, I think speaking to the Corey Perry thing, there's a handful of old vets in this UFA class. Matt Zuccarello already got scooped up somewhere. Patrick Kane.
Los Angeles.
Maybe that's right. Well, I'm getting older and older. Patrick Kane, a couple other that are escaping me at the moment. But point being that if you're in a UFA class and it's not super stacked and you're a team looking for someone and your options are like, there's like this solid player and then there's this other solid player who's not what he once was, but he's extremely experienced and has had great success in the past, I'm probably just going to go ahead and take the experienced guy with the great success in the past. So
like Corey Perry.
Corey Perry.
If you had to pick a place for Corey Perry to end his career, 41 years old now, second oldest player in the NHL behind Brent Burns, what team would you say Corey Perry's last season ride off into the sunset with this team?
I mean, it's probably going to be the Kings at this point, but
if it's not the Kings, if you're picking any team for his final season, we'll say he plays one more year at 42 years old.
Maybe he goes back to the team where he became like a top star. He goes back to Anaheim.
Could be fun, you know?
One more run with the Duckies. Black.
Let's see. I accidentally refreshed my page and lost our spot. Boy, there's a lot of deals going on. I'm scrolling down to try to find
they're wheeling and dealing. I'm constantly over here looking at notifications, refreshing Twitter. My phone's going to catch on fire one day.
Tyson Forrester, Philadelphia, 7.1 over 8 years, 56.8 million total. What are your thoughts on what Philadelphia's got going on here?
Probably that makes sense, locking him down. I'm fine with that deal. And Adam, I also remind you that only you can prevent forester fires.
There you go. I was waiting to see what that was going to be. So Zegras is an RFA, right?
Yeah.
So right now they're top 6: Travis Konechny, Christian Dvorak, Mike, hero of the pod, Porter Martone, or as for some reason you keep calling him Porter Marone, Tyson Foerster, Trevor Zegras, and Owen Tippett. And then in the doghouse, in their bottom 6, Matvei Michkov, Sean Couturier, Noah Cates. Is this team better than we're giving them credit for? Don't look at their blue line. Is this team better than we're giving them credit for?
No.
Really? That's a pretty solid forward group. Like, I'm not saying that they're going to, like, unseat the Avs or compete with Vegas in terms of forwards.
They're probably like a wild card team again next year.
Konechny, Dvorak, Martone, Tippett, Zegras, Forrester. That's a solid top 6, man. Like, if Martone continues what he was doing last year, like, he's actually going to be like a prolific goal scorer. I don't know, man. Mm-hmm. This team might be pushing 100 points.
Yeah, I imagine with them getting back in the playoffs last year and some of the pieces they do have, like you're kind of talking about with that top 6, I imagine most Flyer fans were going into this offseason thinking, like, re-sign Zegras and, like, go make some notable move. They have not made that yet. So
yeah. Outside of obviously bringing back Tyson Foerster. Their blue line: Sanheim, Ristolainen, Cam York, and Jamie Drysdale. It's not bad. I mean, like, I was joking when I said don't look at the blue line. They just don't have like a elite 1D.
Yeah.
And same thing, Dan Vladar in goal. Not great, but not bad. You got any
freaky that Dan Vladar, I'd say.
You got any Jack Roslovic thoughts going to Toronto? 2 years, $4 million a pop.
No. Toronto's been just like super active. They brought in old Johnny Chaykia.
Old John Chaykia.
Yeah. So just to do like a quick refresh, just have it up in front of me. So they sent out Joseph the Iron Wall, Samuel Ayerson, or as Adam said, Urson, my boy Brandon Carlo. R.I.P. R.I.P. to the Carlo. Simon Benoit, Matthias Michelli, and Nick Robertson. But they brought Old Man Bob, Sergei Bobrovsky, the big Darren Radish deal, Emil Andre, drafted Gavin McKenna. That's a pretty notable one. And then they signed Teddy Bluger, Colton Seasons, and then the Jack Roslovic deal. So they are not at all thinking about any kind of, like, take a year off to really reform this team. They're just like, we're retooling this shit on the fly. Or if not, Matthews is going to leave.
The big question hanging over them still is the Matthew Nyes of it all.
Because I'm so dumb with this Matthew Nyes talk. Can I just throw it out there right now? Like, have you seen Toronto fans online?
No, because I'm not on the internet because I don't hate myself.
Whenever someone like reports like blank team has interest in Matthew Nyes, like Toronto fans will respond to it and be like, oh yeah, 4 first-round picks and their top 8 players and their top 4 prospects for Matthew Nyes makes total sense. Like some of like the fantasy booking trades I'm seeing around Matthew Nyes are like, what are we doing here? Like he's not a good player, but like settle down.
With the Matthew Nyes of it all, I enjoy like the self-fulfilling prophecy of being like, well, he's a top-line forward. It's like, well, that's because they put him on the top line.
Yeah. Like, I'm just going to take you back to a little guy whose name you might remember. And I'm not saying they're the same. I want to take you back to a little man by the name of Michael Bunting. Okay. Breaks out and has this 63-point year. And then he has a 49-point year. He gets traded next year and has just never been a player even similar to that. And has been traded in like God knows how many times. And he's back on the open market right now. So I'm not saying Nyes better than Bunting, don't get me wrong.
Yes, that's what I was going to say. Nyes is better than Bunting and younger than Bunting was when Bunting broke out. But kind of in the CR conversation about Pavel Dorofeyev thing, hey, maybe we should give Matthew Nyes a little less credit when his center is fucking Austin Matthews.
Right.
And also, if you're running the Toronto Maple Leafs, How are you setting up this top six? Let me ask you that. So your centers are set. It's Matthews and Tavares, no question, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
Your forwards: Gavin McKenna, Matthew Nyes, Jack Roslovic, and William Nylander.
Yeah.
Who are you playing with Austin Matthews on that line?
Right, you're probably going to put McKenna on a line with Matthews, right?
That's what I would think. Daily Faceoff has him on the second line with Tavares.
Puckpedia thinks he's going to be on the first line at left wing with Matthews.
Yeah, like that feels like if you want to keep Austin Matthews in town and you want to keep him happy and you want to bring your first overall pick rookie along, maybe going with the McKenna, Matthews, Roslovic line would do a lot of good for McKenna and a lot of bad for Matthews.
Yeah, I don't...
Like, it makes sense to put him on whatever line Willie Nylander is, just so that McKenna doesn't have to carry all the weight as the scorer.
Right. So my thing with the Maple Leafs is, like, they're being very active. They're making moves, trying to make it happen. I get that. And, like, even Biz, Paul Bissonnette, Spit and Chicklets, TNT, all that tweeted that he thinks the Maple Leafs are going to win the Stanley Cup. And that, to me, that is so, like...
In the NHL, or which Stanley Cup are you talking about?
that is so, just, like, Toronto-pilled, where, like, every time they make a move, the media is like, this is it! Toronto's finally getting back there. And
as we recently learned, Canadian hockey has been destroyed and it's never coming back, so...
Right. I'm looking at a roster with, like, no bottom... The Sissons and Roslovic signings are good, but they're going to be in their bottom six. That helps, but... They have this weird old blue line, like Radish, Riley, who was constantly in trade. It's kind of died down, but he was constantly in trade rumors. McCabe and Tannen behind him. But even if we go beyond all that, this is like they still just gave $7 million to Sergei Bobrovsky.
Yeah,
$7 million for a 37-year-old goaltender who was terrible last year.
Yeah. This is there is no part of this Maple Leafs team that makes me believe they can win a cup outside of just shouting at me Austin Matthews, John Tavares, Willie Nylander. That's about it.
Gavin McKenna, how dare you? We'll see.
A lot of rookies win cups as a top line guy.
No, but I can't. Like, this team, have they done moves to get him back to the playoffs? I think so. Yeah, but like to be like considered like a cup favorite or feel super strong they're winning the cup. Like, I just feel like they still have some of your typical, like, Toronto Maple Leafs problems. Depth and goaltending. They're Edmonton Oilers East, and they're always going to be at this point, it feels.
I feel like that's rude to the Edmonton Oilers.
Wow.
Ready to continue on with the free agency, or you want to keep talking about Toronto for a little bit? It's good for SEO. We can just do the rest of the podcast about Toronto.
No, that used to be a bit on this podcast, is you'd always just end up talking about the Maple Leafs for 30 minutes.
And just this podcast. Like Victor Arvidsson, 2 years, 5 pop for 10 total to the Detroit Red Wings. Is this their Dylan Larkin replacement?
Now, probably not their Dylan Larkin replacement. It could be their Patrick Kane replacement, though.
And they've, got him right away, too. Patrick Kane out the door.
Yeah.
Victor Arvidsson in.
Now, prior to free agency opening, I had seen some scuttlebutt that the Red Wings were still open to a Patrick Kane return, but market's opened. I haven't really heard anything about that, so we'll see where Patty Kane ends up. But this very well, when I saw this signing, I thought, does that make it less likely Kane's coming back?
Yeah, Patty Kane should just go retire on Chicago. I mean, that's obvious.
No, he should just come home for 1 or 2 more years.
Do you really want Patrick Kane eating up minutes on the current iteration of the Buffalo Sabres?
Yeah, so Patrick McCain.
Patrick McCain? Who the fuck is that?
Apparently he married John McCain's daughter and took her last name.
So Patrick Kane is either taking Jason Zucker or Peyton Krebs minutes, right?
Yeah, I'm fine with him taking, like, Jason. I'm fine with him taking, like, he's going to be on the third line, probably. Maybe second. I don't know. Patrick Kane still has upside offensively. He's just not the kind of upside he once had. I mean, 57 points in 67 games last year isn't anything to sneeze at.
Right,
also
but Sam
last year,
Carrick has
on-
upside offensively, you know?
Yeah, by fourth line center Sam Carrick standards, he has upside. He has offensive upside. I'm just saying. So like last year, his deal with Detroit last year was a 1 year, $3 million deal. I mean, if he wants to finish up his career in Buffalo for a couple of years, he wants to do it for cheap. Like I'm totally cool with it. I mean, I don't know if he will. He's been since he left Chicago, I think he's been on the open market 2-3 times, and each time it hasn't happened. The only difference is this time Buffalo's actually good, so maybe he will do it. I'm not holding my breath though. I don't think he will, but it's a possibility.
Listen, this loyalty to this city thing, it just sign good players, not the ghost of Patrick Kane. Who cares if he's from Buffalo? It makes no difference in terms of wins and losses.
No, I feel like
Guess who else? You know who else is from Buffalo? Alex Tuck. You would have driven him to the airport after the playoffs.
First of all, he's not from Buffalo. He was from Syracuse. So
right, it's the same place. I don't know if you know that or not. It's the same
they're
place.
Very far. They're far apart.
He's not from Austin. He's from Dallas.
Obviously, he was a liar with the whole childhood. And I love the Sabres. They're my childhood team. I love being here, but I'm not going to budge on my asking price.
Yeah, you're right. He should have taken less millions of dollars that someone was offering him so that he could continue to be maligned by the city for playing poorly.
I feel like that may have factored into it.
Speaking of maligned by the city, Stuart Skinner to the Winnipeg Jets. 2 years, $3.75 per year for a total of $7.5 million. Is Connor Hellebuck watching behind his back now for who's coming for the crown?
Hellebuck replacement when they ship him out.
You know what's funny? Stuart Skinner played better than Tristan Jarry after the trade.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, I don't hate. Like, if you're a bad team not trying to spend a lot of money right now, you're just going to throw Stuart Skinner in the net. But I feel like if I'm Kyle Connor or Scheifele and we trade Hellebuck and plan on starting Stuart Skinner, I feel like I'm reevaluating my career and where I want to be, because it kind of sends a message where the direction that franchise is going.
Yeah, I think they were already evaluating their career and where they wanted to be when they went from President's Trophy winner to out of the playoffs.
Sure, but then again, I could really care less about Kyle Connor's career because of how bad he played in the Four Nations. So,
hey, he was on that gold medal team.
Whoever be dead
wasn't he?
Me.
Was he on that gold medal team?
No, I don't.
Kyle Connor the gold medal team?
I feel like I remember talking about that and being like, "Oh, thank God we didn't bring that bum ass Kyle Connor."
Mike, you got any Trevor Van Riemsdyk thoughts? 34-year-old going to Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh loves their olds. They love the olds.
Yeah, just a vet depth player. They signed a couple defensemen in this class so far.
Trevor Van Riemsdyk and Caden Korzak.
Yeah, I'd like to go with their like two walking corpses of Carlson and Chris Letang, who's hopefully hasn't had his fourth stroke yet. Oh, that was
Jesus Christ.
Can we cut that? I don't know what they're doing. I feel like Dubas is Dubasing.
What I like is that Samuel Girard is doing everything in his power to pull the median age down of the blue line, and it's not working. Samuel Girard's like, I'm 28 years old. Is the median age down to 31 years old yet? And they're like, no, sorry, buddy. It's still about 41 and a half years old. Oh, Evgeny Malkin and Sidney Crosby are old too. Let's keep scrolling through these deals here. Mike, you got any Paul Cotter thoughts?
No.
No one should. Mike, Jacob Trouba decides that he loves that California lifestyle. Signs with San Jose, 4 years, $8.25 per year for 33 total. He is 32 years old.
Yeah, still a good defenseman, though.
Still a good defenseman, and, man, San Jose is really loading up on the blue line, eh?
Yeah. Kesselring deal.
Getting all their blues in order.
Getting all their blues in order.
Trouba, Kesselring, they still have Orlov and Sam Dickinson, and then they have two more players on there.
They still have so much cap space that, once again, if I'm the Sharks, I might just throw out some ridiculous offer sheets to top players.
I mean, they kind of did to Mason Marchment, but we'll get to that.
They signed Marchment.
Yeah, I'm saying they signed him for a lot of money.
Yeah, but still have a lot of projected cap space. Like, why not just throw out like a stupid offer sheet to like Jason Robertson? Yeah, it'll probably cost you like 4 firsts in compensation, but who cares?
Yeah, you. How many guys do you have in your system at this point?
Right.
Like, they have made so many picks. See, once again, great example of why you should tank.
Yeah.
San Jose, not only do they have future MVP Macklin Celebrini and Will Smith, and I'm sure some other people that they've drafted, but they just have so many people in their farm system from draft after draft after draft of high-impact players. Oh, Michael Misa, their 2C. Alex Winberg, I think they drafted. I can't remember now. It's been so long.
And they even traded one of those dudes out.
Yeah. Who'd they trade?
Eklund out to Ottawa.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. We already talked about the Sergei Bobrovsky deal. So, just in case anyone missed it, 3 years, $7 million, 21 total. Signed at 37, but play until he's 40 on that deal. Good job, Toronto. Mike, Alexander Kerfoot, 2 years, $3.5 million to go to Nashville. Nashville's making a lot of moves too.
My Kerfoot, better than my right one.
That's a hell of a pull.
Make it.
Yeah, they Lyubushkin, Bork,
Beachy.
Kerfoot. Basically, like every even number offseason, Nashville makes a shitload of moves, and every odd number offseason they don't do anything, right? Nils Hoglander,
the question is,
Jack Drury.
Any of those moves think they're going to be that much better?
Yeah, so here's their incoming class. Correct me if I'm wrong on any of these people. Ilya Lyubushkin, Jack Drury, Marvik Bork, Nils Hoglander, Ross Colton, and Alexander Kerfoot, right?
Yeah, I mean, it just feels like they were like, let's go out and get all those great bottom 6 players.
How fucking dare you accuse Ilya Lyubushkin of playing in the bottom 6?
Well, I mean, I guess it is tough when you have $8 million tied up in 36-year-old Stamkos and $5.5 million tied up in 35-year-old Marchessault.
How much do they pay in Philip Forsberg and Roman Josi?
Forsberg's 8.5. Roman Josi, who's now 36, is 9 mil.
What about Ryan O'Reilly?
Another 4.5 for a 35-year-old.
And of course, UC Soros.
He's only 31. 7.7 million.
It's a lot of money. A lot of money tied up in those guys. But Mike, as they say, the cap's going up. And Colton Season's desist.
Mentioned it.
4.25 2 years. We already mentioned him. So, Mike, is that all the signings? Is that everything? We up to date? Did I miss anything? Dylan Dubé just came through.
Dawes signed with the Devils. Vincent
Keppo Kakinen,
Yeah, Vincent Desjardins signed with the Capitals. Dawes signed with the Devils. Sorry, Jensen to the Ducks. Yeah, nothing too big. The Kuzi, Andrei Kuzmenko, 1 year, $5 million to the Penguins. Kyle Dubas is bad. Dude, we have Nick Cesario.
That's not
for tap.
That's not the thing. It's not just fuck Nick Cesario.
Oh, sorry. it's Nick Cesario fucking sucks is the go-to for when we talk football on the Town Alone podcast. Verbasky is going to start being Kyle Dubas fucking sucks. I don't know how he got this team to the playoffs last year. They overperformed, and now he's just making more dumb Dubas moves.
They have Sidney Crosby and Evgeny Malkin, who are apparently immortal. That's how they got there.
Yeah, who are still hanging on. I don't get it. I don't know what they're doing. Phoenix Copley to the Blue Jackets. I can't believe we didn't talk about that. I mean, he's just gonna,
Man, Jack Greaves.
and
looking over his shoulder.
And my boy Connor Clifton is returning to Boston.
Yeah.
After I was so excited when he came to Buffalo, and it did not. He was like an analytical darling that then you were like, yeah, those analytics were because he was on one of the most stacked blue lines in NHL history that year on the Bruins. Those were the analytics, actually.
Let's just go through here real quick as we're kind of closing out our run here and waiting for it to see if any more any more things come in. Let me ask you this.
Breaking news.
Uh-huh.
The Wild have signed goalie Calvin Bacard to a 1-year, $1 million contract.
Look out, Jordan Wallstedt.
Yeah. Jesper.
Philip Gustafson. Look out.
Oh, yeah.
What was I about to say? Oh yeah, give me like give me like a team winner and a team loser.
For what? Just so far in free agency?
I mean, like the Stanley Cup. Yes, of course. So far in free agency. What do you mean, Mike?
Well, I mean,
what kind of follow-up question is that? Hey, we just talked about free agency for the last hour.
If we take into account free agency and all the trades and shit that happened leading up to this point, like I think your winners are like the Panthers, the way they just bolstered that roster, and I think the Avs have it based on what Nashville's done and what the Avs are done. I'm starting to think a lot of Chris McFarland's success was Joe Sakic calling him, being like, "No, you're supposed to make this move." Now that he's just back to being basically the GM, they're still making good moves to improve the roster and get going. You know what's a really funny thing about the Avs is I was like, which one is it? Is it Blackwood or the other Wood? Wedgwood started in the Wedgwood was when he started in the playoffs. Yeah. I was looking at like how big his contract is. He's still in the books for next year. And I was like, if they moved that out in a deal to Winnipeg, they could swing Connor Hellebuyck.
I like how we just are taking every playoff team from last year and going, but what if they had the best goalie of his generation?
Yeah. What if you just stacked that great team that already has a bunch of talent?
What if Minnesota traded for Connor Hellebuyck and still had Gustafson and Wallstedt, and they just rotated all three per period?
Yeah.
Hey Mike, can I give you a quick loser here just to get your take on it?
Yeah.
We've been kind of texting about this offline. We haven't really had a chance to litigate it on air. Is Jarmo Kekalainen a loser of the offseason? Jarmo Kekalaki. Obviously, the Bone Byram deal was quite good for them, but outside of that, lost Kesselring, lost Tuck, lost. I think that was it. Brought in Louis Crevier, who I think a lot of people like, but probably not as much as Bone Byram. Brought in Olin Zellweger, another guy that has a high upshot, but not a ton there yet. Really, the reinforcement coming has Costas Hellenius as a rotation piece, but
Radomirka
drafted someone at 4 that people either hate or are fine with.
Yeah, I mean, I think like the Olin Zellweger move was good. I think he's going to probably slot in right where Byram was on the second pair possibly, and he's only $3 million. And if he plays up to some of the potential he's shown, then it's like, wow, great move. We also have like Radomirka in the system, who is a very highly touted prospect, former first-round pick, who we think could step up, make an impact. I do think for Jarmo, and I mean, for me personally, I'll say for me to look at this offseason and say, yeah, Jarmo had success, is there has to be one more notable move, whatever that is. Whether that's a Hellebuyck deal, which is really the only deal I've heard rumors about, is them constantly being in talks with Winnipeg. The one rumored offer we made to them prior to the draft, which included the number 4 overall pick, and it was like the number 4 overall pick, UPL, Jack Quinn, and something else. And I remember looking at it and being like, are you getting a better offer than that? I don't know. So we're largely still in talks about it, but I do think like Jarmo needs to make another move for this to be like right now. I think we go into next year and we're probably just as good as last year, even with the loss of Tuck. Sorry about it. But for it to feel like we're going to be even better and like building the momentum, then he's got to do something.
Can I give you a winner?
Yeah.
Are we there with the Washington Capitals? Are the Washington Capitals a winner? Bringing in Kyrou and Tuck. They did pay him a lot, but they don't care about what happens in 4 years. They just care about the next 2. They still have, obviously, Logan Thompson in net. Perennial top 10 player Tom Wilson, Dylan Strome, Pierre-Luc Dubois, and they are hoping to bring back Ovi, who I think probably should be a third-line winger at this point. But, he's Ovi. He gets to dictate where he plays, probably. Blue Line's still a concern, but they made a lot of moves.
Yeah. They made a lot of moves. The Kyrou and Tuck move were definitely just like I'm a little surprised that Ovechkin deal isn't taken care of yet. That's
Yeah.
weird. Like, I can't imagine Ovi finishing his career anywhere else. But when they made the moves for Kyrou and Tuck, I was like, they realized the offensive problems they had last year. It was impossible not to realize them because they were so goddamn evident. But so they're loading up to make this one last run in Ovi's final year. But then there's also like a small percentage of me that was like, what if this is them like turning the page into the next iteration of this team? But what stops me from thinking that's even a possibility is just because I can't imagine Ovi finishing his career anywhere else.
Yeah, I think that would be a mistake both by Ovi and by the Caps. I think that if the Caps don't re-sign him, I think Ovi should probably just hang him up. I think that's better for everyone involved personally. But I also get that it's hard to turn away what's probably going to be like $4.5 million for 1 year of hockey.
Right. And I also think if there was any chance of Ovi playing somewhere else, like if that was the word that he was open to going somewhere else and that got out throughout the league, it would be constantly talked about. Because I get it, he's 40. The dude scored 30-something goals last year. Even if you're like, all right, I'm going to give him some money, and yeah, he's going to be on our third line, and then on the power play, I'm going to tell him just to park his ass on the dot to the left of the net and just start, smacking those one-timers until he gets into the net. Like, that's worth the money. So there'd be a lot more talk if there's any chance of him going somewhere else, I think.
Has he passed 500 career goals yet? I'm just keeping watch on his Hall of Fame case. Is he over 500 yet?
I think he's safely above it, yeah.
Okay. Just want to keep an eye out on his Hall of Fame case. That's all. I think he should. In my opinion, Ovechkin should stick around the NHL until he seems like he has a good Hall of Fame case.
Yeah.
Mike, you didn't hand out a loser team. You only handed out a winner team. You want to hand out a loser team real quick?
I mean, obviously, I've doo-dooed all over Pittsburgh. I think they're a loser team. And I think the Blackhawks are a loser team. I know, like I said, Byram's a good defenseman. That's a lot of money, and I mean, at some point, we're going to get the news of the Bedard extension. Once again, if I was another team, I'd just offer him for shits and giggles, just to bully the Blackhawks into paying more than they probably wanted to. But honestly, they haven't done anything to make me think, oh, this team's finally moving in the right direction.
Eric Comrie signed with the San Jose Sharks. Mike, are the San Jose Sharks now a contender?
I think he really moves the needle. San Jose Sharks gonna be in the playoffs next year. I don't think that's a crazy take.
Yeah, they almost were this year, and they played in a really hard division that all the teams were really good in.
Yeah, really, really good.
Mike, let's close it out here. Let's just talk about some of the top free agents left. You tell me, right now, Buffalo had the cap space to sign this guy to, I don't know, competitive offer. We'll discuss as we go through each one here. Would you want him? So let's start here. Currently, top available free agent, according to, I'm reading here, it's pronounced Thathletic. That seems weird. Top available free agent for them, Jean Carlson, right shot defenseman, currently unsigned. Apparently, he is seeking 2 years, $10 million a pop. Mike, would you want your beloved Buffalo Sabres to sign him? 2 years, $10 million a pop.
I mean, can we change the premise of this question?
No. Yeah, sure. What do you want to change it to?
Yeah, I'm just saying, like, in general, like being like a little more in general, because if we talk specifically Buffalo Sabres, that like narrows down so much of who I'm going to say yes to, based on the current makeup of the team and
but people just tune into this podcast to get their Sabres news.
Yeah, I don't think that's a good content strategy to narrow it. To try to target just a 1/32 of the NHL fandom. But
wait, if
Buffalo's
Carlson, 1/32, what percent is Dallas? Like 1/104th?
Maybe Dallas is a loser just because they created this Jason Robertson situation.
John Carlson, is he worth Carlson, 2 by 10?
2 by 10? I mean, his previous cap hit was $8 million, but now he's 36 years old, so it's understandable that he's not going to get that anymore. I mean,
no, 2 by 10. It's 20 total he wants over 2 years.
Oh, yeah, I'm not doing that.
He's reportedly, his camp is saying he wants 2 years, $10 million per year, but he mainly just wants to play 2 more years for $20 million. If it works better for them to spread that cap hit out, that's fine. He just wants $20 million, and he's going to play 2 more years.
Okay, I mean, I guess if they do a Gudis deal that we saw and they spread it out, And he's collecting a good chunk of that while he's, on the golf course in retirement. Like, I guess that's fine. But if he was like, I want 20 million over 2 years, I'd say, well, cool. I want a date with Jeannie Buss. It's just, unfortunately, it hasn't happened yet.
Yet is the important word.
Yet.
Yet. Next up, Mike. Next up. Anders Lee. Anders Lee. Known for fighting Brady Tkachuk. Anders Lee. Previous contract was 7 years, $7 million per year, 35 years old. What are we feeling about Anders Lee here? I want to give you his athletic projection. I just saw that was an option.
Like contract projection?
Yeah.
Sure.
Your follow-up questions today. 3 years, 6.6 per year.
6.6. Wow. I mean, veteran, a leader in the locker room, former captain. 6.6 is a little expensive for me for Anders Lee, though.
Next up, Anthony Mantha. Anthony Mantha. Last deal was a 1-year prove-it deal, 4.5 per year. Yeah. Some would say he proved it. Others would say he's recovering from a torn ACL in his right knee. Oh, I'm sorry. That was 2 years ago. He was recovering from a torn ACL in his right knee.
Yeah.
Career best, 33 goals, 64 points.
That was last year.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I haven't heard much news on what teams are looking and where he could end up. But I think he's definitely the best free agent, like forward or like goal scorer on the market. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, I mean, what is throw me his projection?
Well, if I tell you 4 years is his projection, what would you guess his AAV is at 4 years?
8.5 million.
6.3.
Oh wow, for 6.3, I'd probably do that if I had the cap space. Yeah, but then again, you are facing the uncertainty of contract year bump, prove it year. We give him the big contract. Is he going to be like, "Guy, I can sit back now"? All right, we got the financial security.
Next up, Mike, your beloved Michael Bunting, who is somehow 30 years old.
Damn.
33 points, 74 games last year. Played for the Stars. Projected contract, 4 years, $5 million. You want Bunting at 4x5?
I don't know. I feel like you could take a swing on someone else younger and hope they give you Bunting numbers for a lot cheaper. So, no.
You know what the important thing to realize there with what you said is?
Mm-hmm.
You want to take a swing, not a bunt. Mike.
Exactly.
Boone Jenner.
Bainesy.
Boone Jenner. Boonesy. 38 points, 67 games last year. Bottom 6 center. Projected 3 years, $20 million. So, 3 years, $15 million. So $5 million per year.
Yeah, that's not bad for a dude who, I mean, he's still only 33.
Didn't we just a second ago say I can't believe Michael Bunting's so fucking old at 30?
Yeah, but he sucks. So different. Not like he put up like 30 goals back in 2016 and has never gotten back to that since then. So he's definitely a bottom 6 center. But yeah, if I had $5 million and I felt like he could really round out a roster, like fill that hole I need to really go make a run, I got time for Bainesy.
If you had $5 million, this podcast would be more successful. Mike, final one here I got for you. John Klingberg, coming off a scorching 27 points in 56 games.
Yeah.
Has never been the same since he got hip surgery a couple years ago. 2 years, $5 million projected for him. What do you think?
2 years, $5 million would be like 2.5 a year.
No, sorry, $10 million total, 5 average.
I'm not. His last contract was $4 million, and I feel like that. I don't know why. I don't feel like he did anything last year for me to be like, yep, he's worth more than that now.
Right. But Mike, what you're not considering is the cap's going up.
Cap's going up.
I'll just rattle off some names here, Mike. Scott Lawton. You got any Scott Lawton thoughts?
No.
You want to guess the Athletics Ovi contract projection? Also, his net rating is hilarious. They have his net rating as offensively. He's a plus 8.4, and defensively, he's a -2.
Can you tell me the year? The years? The
1
term?
year. 1 year is
1
the
year
term they have projected.
I'm gonna say
because he's 40 years old.
Yeah, I'm gonna say 1 year, $7.5 million.
9.1.
I get 30 goal scorer. I wouldn't blame a team.
Yeah.
for 1 year. I wouldn't blame him for doing that.
Yeah, that's just a nice, respectful contract. I think that you should absolutely pay him that. We all love Ovi. Also, I love how Ovechkin is younger than Brent Burns and younger than Corey Perry and looks older than both of them combined.
Yeah.
Mike, any last deals pop up here since the Eric Comrie deal? Anything we didn't talk about that we need to?
No, not that. It's come across my timeline or 4,000 push notifications. So, Toronto is signing Brandon Duheim. That was a while ago. The deal, the deets of that contract just finally hit the web. A couple quick names you didn't mention.
Mm-hmm.
Vladimir Tarasenko.
Yep, that's not a quick name. That's a very long name.
That's a very long name. It's just a funny case. Like most of his career with like St. Louis, great goal scorer. Then he gets traded from there in 22, goes to the Rangers. They don't re-sign him. 1 year in Ottawa, 1 year in Florida, 1 year in Detroit, last year in Minnesota. No one wants Vladimir Tarasenko anymore.
This is just what happens when you hit a cliff and you're not like a legendary player. Like Tarasenko was really good on that the Cup team for the Blues, but like he's not Ovechkin, right? He's not one of these guys that's really like doesn't. I mean, like, I'm sure Corey Perry has the same thing where it's like, you know, Corey Perry had his time in the sun and then he's just been on a new team every fucking year.
Yeah. I mean, I will say he did put up 23 goals last season, 47 points.
Yeah, but that's because he was playing on a line with. I feel like I'm just going to do this all day, right?
Yeah.
I guess he wasn't playing on a line with anyone. He was playing on their third line or their second line in Minnesota.
I'd have to double check, and I don't really want to. I'll tell you. And then another grizzled old vet that is out there is Claude Giroux, which there is a good chance he could end up going back to Philly, where he played the majority of his career. Finished up his career there. He's 38 years old. He's an old man.
I feel like we're in kind of a changing of the guard era right now, both in like the like 2010 to 2017 elite player mold are all in their last few years, and then the 2017 to like 2024 elite player is all moving into their like good, not heart level guy role now, and then the future's all Macklin Celebrini, brother.
All Macklin Celebrini.
It's all Macklin Celebrini and Matty Shafes.
And you didn't mention him, and I think it's because you just hate him. You just hate Mojo. You have no time for Marcus Johansson, do you?
I don't have any time for Marcus Johansson.
I don't blame you.
I've tried to make time on my schedule for Marcus Johansson, and it's never really come through. You know, I've put it in my schedule, and every time I say we're gonna have to push that to tomorrow.
Whoa.
What?
I was on Puckpedia, and they did this cool thing where a little like alert went across their screen. Connor Sheary, 1 year to the Buffalo Sabres, $850,000. That moves the needle, not at all. My record player is broken for that one. The needle's not moving.
You got any plugs at the door?
Nah, just the usual shit you probably heard on past podcasts.
If before I get this finished editing, if any substantial news comes through, we'll just hop on and do 4 minutes on it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And we'll just insert it right in the middle, like mid-sentence, partway through the podcast. We'll just insert a clip of us talking about, like, I don't know, an Austin Matthews trade.
Yeah, I mean, the only big things that could possibly happen would be, like, Robertson or Werenski, which, like, reports... Or Hellebuck, but, like, reports, especially on Werenski and Robinson, are constantly, like, ping-ponging all over the place as to what is happening. Difference is the Blue Jackets have, like, an extra year to try to figure this out, and the... Dallas Stars have put themselves up against the wall. And they put themselves in a situation where it's like, okay, well, we could go to arbitration. We'll get the 1 more year of him. But you know what the problem with that is? Real quick.
What?
I know we're trying to wrap up. If they are like, all right, we'll go to arbitration. We'll get the 1 more year and kick this can down the line. Okay, well, you have even less leverage next year because if he decides, like, no, I'm 100% not going to resign here. We can't come to terms. He'll be a UFA and walk out the door for nothing. So then you'll be forced to trade him for... like, you know, half of what you could do for right now. So Stars put themselves in a rough situation. We'll see if they can figure it out there, Adam. Back to you.
Hey, can someone just tell me why everyone hates Jason Robertson? I'm just looking at the Athletics trade board. The Athletics trade board, number 1, Zach Werenski. Obviously, the guy's coming off a Norris win. Second's Dylan Larkin. Third's Jason Robertson. Jason Robertson scored fucking 45 goals and 96 points last year. And he's third on the trade board behind 29-year-old Dylan Larkin? Why does everyone hate Jason Robertson?
Because he doesn't have an Olympic gold medal, Adam. Team USA didn't want him.
Yeah, you notice the top 4 players on the trade board: Hellebuck, Robertson, Larkin, and Werenski. You know what 3 of those players have in common that Jason Robertson doesn't?
They won a gold medal. With the
They won gold medals.
They
won gold medals. And we'll close out here, and then I'll have you do the classic thing we do here. I guess we'll close with this, Mike. Follow us on the socials. You can see everything in the show notes below. Tune in next week where we're figuring out what we're going to do in the offseason with hockey. So tune in if we have anything next week, and don't tune in if we don't have anything. Although, Mike, we're only about 2-3 weeks away from our Halo streams kicking in. Those will be a lot of fun. But, Mike,
okay.
On the Athletics trade board, number 1, Zach Werenski. Number 2, Dylan Larkin. Number 3, Jason Robertson. Number 4, Connor Hellebuck. Do you want to guess who the number 5 player on their trade board is?
Matthew Nyes, baby.
Matthew Nyes is, in fact, not. Matthew Nyes is...
Oh, wow.
Scrolling. 14th.
Is it Nikishin? That'd be shocking.
He is 6th. That was pretty close.
Oh.
6th.
Who is it?
Kirill Marchenko.
Oh, yeah. That was like a double whammy for Blue Jackets fans.
Yeah. It is really funny to just go down the list and you go, wow, Zach Werenski, Dylan Larkin, Jason Robertson, and Connor Hellebuck all won out. And also Kirill Marchenko.
Dude, Marchenko's awesome.
I like Marchenko a lot. He doesn't have the name power of the other guys.
Not yet.
With that, Mike, let's get out of here.